I assume you care about what your customers' experience of your product is. And if you're doing anything worthwhile with your product, it's probably going to be dealing with their data or their money or both, their credit card information. And so you owe it to your customers to actually protect that information. That's a really vital asset. And if you don't protect it, your reputation will be nothing and nobody will trust you.
The very early days of Microsoft software security were sort of a little bit loose. There was a small group of us who were working with different product groups, helping them understand how to build secure systems, finding bugs.
This is a time period before Twitter. This is a time period way before Facebook and social networks. Microsoft was just about pumping out software, not necessarily thinking about security.
2001, there was a really significant shift, and that was brought home to us with what was called the code red internet worm, a piece of malware that would infect Microsoft servers on the internet and cause them to crash. 2 months later, in September of 2001, we saw the NIMDA worm, different mechanism, similar effect.
They were self-propagating worms. They affected IIS, which was our web server at the time, and they put a lot of our customers through significant pain.
At that point, Microsoft was embedded in everything, right? And still is today. And it was under attack.
Code red and NIMDA caused customers to lose a lot of faith in Microsoft products. So much so that the senior management team at Microsoft started getting emails and phone calls from some of our largest customers saying, hey, you gotta fix this problem.
So in the middle of January 2002, Bill Gates sent out the Trustworthy Computing memo to the entire company.
You know, he really looked into the future and saw that unless Microsoft and the entire industry started to take security, privacy, and reliability more serious, that people would lose faith in technology into the future because of all of the attacks.
And that really got our attention, made some product improvements, and changed the way the company thought about secure development.
The impact of the SDL on Microsoft and protecting Microsoft's customers and raising the bar on the industry, it's probably the biggest software security endeavor ever undertaken in the commercial sector.
Even if you're going to have a critical system and it's going to be kind of isolated and it's going to have the extra boundaries around it, attackers now are much more organized. They are getting in.
They know exactly what they're going for. They have the motivation, they have the skills.
Not only the tactics they're using, but the targets, you know, what their goal is. We have more attackers now with different motivations than we had 5 or 10 years ago.
Security is about understanding the threats and making sure that you're doing the right things to mitigate those threats.
I think the fact that we had to respond, and we did respond with it in a very coherent way, made a lot of people think. The smartest way to do it, the cheapest way to do it, is to do it from the start. We have to solve everything, and the attacker only has to succeed once.
So when somebody writes a worm like a code red or a blaster, that pissed me off. You know, the holes are there. That's our mistake. Shame on us. But making life hell for innocent internet customers, not a good thing.
You are moving the needle, and we move the needle more than anybody else does. And in moving the needle, even a small part, you're actually impacting billions and billions of people on a daily basis.
It's not a process that we're ever going to stop doing. It's not a process we're ever going to stop changing. And I expect that to go on as long as Microsoft is a company, which will be a long, long time.